He is a two-weight world champion. He is a musician. He is a best-selling author. He is a businessman. He was on the Forbes 30 under 30.
Wow.
He was given a doctorate by the University of East London. You can call him the Source. We're going to call him Lawrence. I'm hoping to get the other names right. Itauma.
Ikachiku.
Yeah. Lawrence Ikachiku.
Nice.
Oluwatobi.
Nice.
Okolie.
Nice.
Come on, how are you, mate?
All good, Jack.
That's a lot. You've done a lot, haven't you?
I'm trying. It's still early, but it's always nice to hear.
Well, I've been listening. I bought your audiobook.
Oh, nice.
So I've had you in my ears. Probably too much.
Got ya. Well, we're here now, live in the flesh.
I've just watched all your sparring and everything, and Champs Camp, Manchester. This is a serious gym.
Yeah, serious gym, serious energy, serious coach, serious work. So yeah, that's how we like it.
It feels like it's sharpening you up. It feels like you can't have an off day here.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's too many eyes, too much pressure, and a lot of expectation. Do you know what I mean? From Joe, and then that obviously on myself. So yeah, solid.
Listen, we can talk about that, the build up to your Kevin Lerena fight. I want to talk a little bit about the young Lawrence and how you've got to this point today, because it's quite the story. Listening to your audiobook, you can be inspired by it, you can be motivated by it. There's quite dark moments in it as well. Talk to me a little bit about young Lawrence Okolie.
I don't know. It depends what version.
Well, let me show you a version. Let me show you a version. I want to pull up this picture. If you could look at it and then show that camera there. Tell me about this kid.
Mate,
just tell me about him.
He's on a journey. That kid on a journey. So it was dealt with bullying, dealt with obviously coming from Hackney during the 90s and early 2000s. It was definitely rough, so just having to navigate through that. And when I look at it, sometimes I feel like a different person, because it's like, in terms of my mindset and like how I approach stuff, it was very different. I think I had a bit of a more, like, I would say, like a victim mentality until I kind of broke out of that, and then it turned into a winner's mentality, and now we're here, innit?
The bullying, how did that all come about? When did it start? Was there a
started
moment?
from primary school, but think back to it, obviously one of my names is Ikachiku. It's one of the it's the name that I used at home. So when I went to school, that's the name that I used. And then for kids especially, that's a bit of a strange name, bit of a weird name. So it started with that, and then obviously being chubby, that also brought some attention. So it would always be the older kids from like early secondary school to the older ones in the school playground and stuff like that started it. But it would, spill out into on the way home afterwards, and there was lots of there was like a sort of energy in the area at the time that was very sinister. So that all sort of translated into those early days.
I was hearing things about how you would pretend you were sick so that you could get out of class early, so you didn't get any aggravation on the way home. This is heavy stuff, mate.
Yeah, no, it was serious. When I think about it now, it's not the average
not at all.
Sort of experience, but for me, it's just kind of what it was. Some people were the bullies, some people were the bullied, some people accepted it, some people didn't. Early days, I kind of accepted, and I think I internalized a lot of stuff because I was big for my age. I was always told, oh no, don't hit people, or oh, don't do this, or if I'm running through a corridor, I'll be the one that gets stopped as opposed to all the other kids because I'm the big one. No, you're gonna knock someone over. So I kind of made myself really small and kind of like a target. And I think that until I kind of broke out of that mindset and started changing the way I looked at stuff, it made me sort of an easy target, even though I was actually quite big or strong. So yeah.
So it's because of how you looked at yourself, self-esteem.
Yeah, how I looked at myself and how, I was sort of told to look at the world. When you're young, you're impressionable, so it's like, don't run, don't this, don't be like, just, you're big, just stop, be like, make yourself smaller for everyone else. And I think that kind of made even smaller guys be able to bully me, or older guys or whatever else. So it was like, that was, but that's, early days. And then when I started to kind of look at the world a bit more differently and sort of stand up for myself, stuff started changing.
Did you see a way out at the time?
Not initially, not initially. I just thought, oh,
this is my life every day.
Yeah, just like, it was literally like every day, something else. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't until, as I said, I started to kind of take different steps that worked for me. I wouldn't advise everyone to kind of do the sort of stuff that I was doing, but like I said, it was quite intense.
And your relationship with your kind of self-image, hearing stuff about how you'd kind of pull at your stomach.
I was giving everything away, innit? But like, all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just knowing that you're big or whatever, and just like.
But there'll be kids doing that every day.
Yeah, mad. Yeah, thinking about. Yeah, it's just like
It's sad.
Like, it is sad. Do you know what I mean? I'd be looking at it thinking, oh, is there a way for me to pull off the fat or cut it out or whatever? Like, don't ever do that. But it's like. These are the kind of things that I remember thinking and internalizing and whatever else. And it was even that part of how I got into actual boxing, because one of the days, someone was, calling me fat and calling me this, calling me that. And then, I ended up having a sort of altercation with them. And that's where a boxer, an amateur boxer at the time, saw me and said, oh, you should come down to the boxing gym. So it's like, it's all kind of interconnected and stuff, but yeah.
So initially, were you essentially getting beaten up at school?
I wouldn't say I was
getting
getting beaten up. So it was kind of like I would have to take it more so than anything else. It would be like, there'll be groups of guys or whatever else, and I'd say, take 10 punches, take whatever punches, or like some of the.
Say that again.
So I was in stand there, and then like we're gonna rush you basically. So you don't throw no. It's not like a fight. It's like there's 6 of us, 7, 10, whatever. We're all just gonna hit you or whatever else, and you're just gonna kind of take it, if that makes sense. So that's kind of. More what it was, so it wasn't like I was having a fight and losing. It was more so like groups or whatever else. And then
you had no fight in you.
Yeah, I wasn't even allowed to fight. So I might have it in me, but I'm not showing it. And then it would be like in the area, which it's not funny, but it's quite interesting, because it's kind of linked to boxing in a way, where it'd be like groups of guys will come older, whatever else, and they'll get like guys from other areas near mine and be like, you used to have to fight, otherwise we're gonna rush you guys. So it'll be like me and this random guy I don't know from anywhere have to have a fight to avoid getting beaten up by a bunch of different guys. It's better to just do a one-on-one than it is to get rushed. So little things like that, which that's mad. I never really think about that stuff anymore, but it's like those are kind of setting up for like boxing, where it's like, okay, at the end of school or at the end of this, you and this guy are going to meet at this time and have a fight. And
so the Bullies were your first matchmakers?
I would say that, yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's part of it, yeah.
And now you're in the position where you can write books about it, and you can just talk about it quite openly as well. So what would you say? You saw this young Lawrence Okolie, right? You go into his bedroom and he's been bullied all day. He's really sad. What would you say to him now if you could walk in?
It's difficult, because obviously I'm not proud to say everything's going to work out. It's going to be okay, and just, as I said, sort of stand up for yourself. Because when you do, stuff starts looking very different.
Do you wish you had stood up for yourself sooner, or are you happy with how it's all?
No, yeah, because like I said, the way that my life turned out, like maybe if I'd stood up for myself a little bit earlier, I wouldn't have been a boxer, or like, because everything was down to the day, like I'm dead serious. If a particular incident didn't happen, I wouldn't be a boxer today, because it was a teacher had their day off. I don't know what happened in that teacher's life. I had a supply teacher, which caused the kids to sort of act out, and then one of them sort of threw something at me. It hit my eye. Usually I would take it. This day I didn't take it. I had a fight with that person, and then that's when the boxer said, mate, you need to come down to the boxing gym. Like I never even knew what boxing really was. I knew who Mike Tyson was and Muhammad Ali, but I never watched a boxing match or gone to. But then, because of that fight that guy saw, he just kept badgering me. So then I went to the gym one day and I fell in love with it instantly. But it's like, if that teacher was in the class, he might not have thrown that book. I might not have ever had that fight, and then maybe never would have walked into a boxing gym ever. So it's like, everything sort of for a reason. Everything
for a reason, God's plan kind of thing. So your faith is very much part of your life, right?
Yeah.
Like I've heard you talk about for your last couple of fights, you always pray beforehand. The last couple, the prayers have been intense. What's that about? Why?
Well, I think, first and foremost, as I say from my life story, there's nothing exceptional in my opinion about me. Yes, I'm good at maybe having a fight or whatever else, but it wasn't like I was some sensational athlete or I was like just really like good at anything in particular. But you know, as I said, I believe God gave me other attributes like determination, composure. Even when I'm having a bad day or not looking great in the gym, to kind of be able to dust it off and go again the next day. So all those things, I kind of think I'm not really special, so it has to be someone else that is sort of helping me along that journey.
You do have, from what I kind of get from you, you do have qualities which are quite special in terms of, I think, your resilience. You have this kind of cold. Do you think that's come from everything you've gone through in your life where nothing can hurt you right now?
Yeah, I do think so. I think it's like that kind of mindset is what helps me get into all of these situations and kind of just roll with it, you know what I mean? And not let the occasions or the moments or the pressures or whatever else kind of weigh me down. I just kind of roll with it.
And you have to take criticism every day on your social media. Right. I've started getting some because I've started hyping you up. I'm hyping you up big time. He's going to be a world heavyweight champion. Dev, you don't know nothing about boxing. All of this, but how do you deal with that?
In reality, I kind of focus on reality. So it's like before the Olympics, and also it's like experience has taught me as well. Before I qualified for the Olympics, I had never been to the GB team like the year before, literally like less than like 10 months before, and I had no real direction of getting to the Olympics. I'd still post 2016 Olympics, I'm going. Like I still look at the post sometimes. It's like that I had no reason to believe I was going to get there, but I said it and then I made it happen. Like I pushed and whatever, and you know, people at that time said, well, like, is this guy, how can he, like, he ain't even won ABAs.
Is he mad?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you ask all the GB boys when I got on the team, they all tell me they thought I was crazy when I first got up there, because I'd be like, I'm going to the Olympics. And they'll be like, this guy's only had 16 fights at the time, 14 fights, never been in an international fight, saying he's going to go to the Olympics. Yeah,
maybe
right.
2020.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, but I'm talking like, we're talking 7 months time, I'm going, whatever. But then, it's when we're going to do it. I turn pro, I'm going to be a world champion before the next Olympics. Alright, there's some real guys up here, blah, blah, blah. Then I get there and it's like, I have to, like, with good performances, bad performances, knockouts, I just focus on the reality. The reality is, you know, I've become British champion when people said I wouldn't, Commonwealth, European, world again. And now I'm here, I'm just like, okay, like, I'm going to be free weight, and people, and I also think people don't really know about boxing, but if you ask other boxers about me, they'll let you know that, okay, yeah, Lawrence there's something about Lawrence, and as I said, like, all I can do is go out there and show it, and then eventually other people will catch up with what I'm saying.
So you can't really take in any of this online criticism or any of the...
No, because as I said, because I look at the reality of it. The reality of it is, you know, I've like been there with a lot of the top guys, and I know how it goes, and like I said, when the time comes when me and a lot of these guys start crossing paths, people will see for themselves, and then it'll go from, oh, he got to, oh, okay, fair enough, well, like, he's solid, isn't he? Like, but it is what it is.
Or he got lucky, or they'll never fully accept it.
And it'll be what it is. And then one day we'll hang up the gloves, and then I'll get to, you know, look at what I've actually accomplished and be like, actually, I was freeweight world champion. I don't like whatever else I go on and do, it will show for itself. So I don't really do it for the masses to say he's amazing, because I've seen the masses tell all the top fighters they're amazing, and then if they come up short one time, they're the worst. I've looked at, before I turned pro, there was people like David Hay, Tony Belly, like, do you know what I mean? All of these guys who were like, oh, he's the, and then as soon as they come up short, oh, he was never that good anyway. I've seen in this generation, the Anthony Joshua's, the Tyson Fury, when they're on top, everyone is there. And if you internalize it, you start kind of looking for it, and yeah, I'm the best, right? Because they say I'm, and then if you lose, they say you're the worst. You also internalize that. So I kind of just focus on, you know, just one gym session at a time. So
you can't take the praise or the hate?
No, yeah, 100% not, because I've seen both ends of it. Like, obviously I'm like a big puncher, and like I've shown real explosiveness at times, and I've heard, he's amazing. If I start believing that, then I'm not going to maybe do what I need to do for the next one, or if people tell me I'm terrible and I internalise it, I might not show up for the next. So it is what it is, yeah.
So what are you doing all this for? Because as I said at the very start, you know, two-weight world champion, you've done all those things, businessman, you're a doctor, Dr. Sauce over here. I'd imagine you've made a few quid, you live out in Dubai as well. I'm sure you've got a business out in Dubai. So what is keeping you going? Because it feels like you could probably retire and be in a better position than most people right now if they were to retire.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. It's like, A, when you're good at something, I think you should do it. That's number one. And I think it just kind of feels like a second career for me. Like, you know, I've done all that stuff at Cruiserweight, and I've done the weight making, and I've done X, Y, Z. But I feel like now it's like, okay, heavyweight is like a whole new chapter. So it's like an opportunity for me to like show myself more than anything else, like the levels that I can actually get to, because it's like, I kind of felt it was very easy at Cruiserweight to kind of just roll through. Although it took hard work and me being good, I won everything. I managed to go to Olympics with little experience. I won a world title with little experience. You know what I mean? I've done quite a lot of stuff kind of just rolling in. But I do think with heavyweights, there's going to be different challenges and like a different kind of sense of satisfaction with the wins. So with Kevin Lerena, for example, he's a solid competitor, solid guy. And it's like, beating him, I'm going to feel a certain type of way with the victory. So there's more pride for me to go and get.
What about for your family as well? At the start of your book, you said this is for mum. I know you've done a rap for your mum as well. I've seen the clip of you taking your world cruiserweight title to your mum as well, and I was almost choking up. I thought that's really nice. But there's a lot in you and your mum's relationship, in particular, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I mean that's obviously a major part. You know, there's stuff that I'm doing for them and want to continue to be able to do for them as well. So that's always a massive help. But if I'm honest, like boxing for me is for me, if that makes sense. Yes, the byproduct of it's amazing, like what I can do for my family and friends and stuff like that. But really, like if I'm honest, I do it for me and I do it because I enjoy it. Like I enjoy, and I just enjoy it. I can't tell you anything more. It's like I enjoy the training, I enjoy the hard days, I enjoy the good days, I enjoy all of it, to be fair, and it gives me like something to do, so why not?
But you must accept that the position that you're in today is because of your mum's hard work back in the day.
100%, yeah, 100%. Like there's no two ways about it. Everything, as I said, with my life, I feel like a lot of things, like, I don't want to say fall into place like I haven't earned it, but it's like my mum deciding to come from Nigeria to England and then putting me in that exact house and that exact, like everything that she did obviously kind of spilt on into my life. And even just like the sacrifices that I've seen her make for me and my brother and me and my other siblings, it's like, it's the least I can do is go and work hard in my own job to kind of be able to sort of repay her.
So that when you took the belt to her, that was more than just about boxing. That was a kind of like that was
like your son's like done something. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, of course your parents can't live through you, but it's the sense of pride like that I felt, and the pride from my mum. Obviously, she was proud of me before anything I did, but to be able to say, yo, like your son's a world champion, or your son, like we're good here, or like be able to whatever I do, take them on holiday, whatever it is a great feeling. So yeah.
You did the same, taking the belt, I think, to your sister's school.
Yeah,
is that right?
That was good. Yeah,
same sort of rewarding.
Yeah, agreed. Like that one was even more intense because obviously my little sister's much younger than me. She's like 17 years younger, whatever. And it's like seeing her sort of pride and her sort of like, look, my brothers. Like it was then and is still now like the main motivation.
Main motivation?
One of the main ones. Like for me, it's like, as I said, of course I do it for myself, but it is nice to have those extras that come with, you know what I mean, winning and like accomplishing stuff.
So how much have your parents shaped who you are today in terms of what, I always think that sometimes you take a little bit of what your mum is, a little bit of what your dad is, and it kind of puts you together, and maybe it's your dad's stubbornness or your mum's work ethic, I don't know, but could you pinpoint?
Yes and no. I think it's a mixture. I think it's the circumstances that you're in So I think your environment shapes you a lot more, if that makes sense. So yes, like I've got some attributes of both my parents, but I wouldn't say I take this from my mum and this from my dad or whatever else. It's more so they're sort of, say your dad is like, I don't know, or like your mum is, any attribute, your mum's funny, you might, because your mum's so, like either become funny or...
So you didn't get that then?
No, I didn't, right? So it's like, say your mum's funny, you might know how to take a joke better.
Yeah.
So it's not like I might become funny, I might just, because of that, I'm a bit more like this. Or say one of your parents is like loud, you might know how to listen. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it won't be I've taken from them in that way, but they might be this when it makes me that way or whatever. So I think it's kind of like a sort of balance.
It's mad that this all started from you being essentially an obese child, clinically obese, right?
Yeah.
The doctor said you are clinically
Yeah.
obese. You couldn't run around the block.
No, definitely not. No.
Got yourself boxing and changed your life.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Do you recognise yourself when you look at the old pictures?
Yes, I know, but do you know what it is? It's like a lot of my life feels like different lives. I don't know if that's a thing.
I know what you mean. And yeah, again, listening to your book, it felt like various different chapters.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about McDonald's. You were working at McDonald's, saw AJ and all of that. Just loads of different
so many
lives.
different that. So yes, I've stayed constant and I've had like constants there, like my family and close friends, but it's like, yo, okay, that was a chapter, this is a chapter. I mean, I've been, even like I said, I kind of separate cruiserweight from now. Like it's different stages, different, like just, yeah, it's all different.
You have suffered a loss. Chris Billam-Smith beat you your last fight at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because I've heard you talk about you in the build-up many years ago. You did say you feared losing. You didn't want to lose your own.
Yeah, of course, yeah. How did I feel? It was a weird one because I felt like I was still better than him. So I was kind of like, folks, I got a rematch clause, I want to get it back on a rematch. It's more so when that opportunity didn't come, that's when it kind of hit me like, oh wow, they're just going to take that win and run off into the sunset. That's more where it was like, oh damn. But then in reality, I kind of like just said to myself like, there's so much more for me to do. So actually, I was at a bit of a crossroads, if that makes sense. So I remember with that fight, I was there in Dubai, businesses, life is like fine. Where it's like, okay, boxing, like, what? Do I even want to box anymore? Like, do I need to? Anything like that? And I remember that was kind of the energy I was getting, especially because of my former promoters and just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes I didn't really enjoy. And I was just like, boxing can't keep doing this. Like, I can't keep giving boxing and then boxing politics. But I remember what kind of drugged me out, if I'm honest, is I went to spar Parker for the when he was back to box Wilder. And I remember after that spar, because I was literally just chilling on the couch for months, like, because the rematch wasn't happening, and I was just like, oh, F all this. And then they said, oh, we'll fight in Wilder like in a week or two, come down and help. I was in Dubai, they were in Saudi. I remember going there, doing a few rounds, just saying to myself, oh yeah, like, this is Parker about to fight next week, and I'm like I'm good at this, isn't it? Like, why am I like messing around, like, just at home? I could actually, like, bro, compete with all of these guys as well. So from there, I kind of just started getting myself back on it. You know, Joe was actually the one in the corner for me in Saudi, because obviously he was working with the Mike Tyson gym, and I was just like, yo, like, let's actually do something. And then not long after that, I was in Poland, you know, and then we've kind of gone from there.
Yeah, that Rosansky win, I don't think enough people are talking about it, because I'm not sure you were a big favourite heading into that fight, into the Lion's Den against the fellow who just knocked out Babic in a couple of rounds, and you just dealt with him. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I started to really understand the weight stuff after the Chris fight. I was like, I looked at some of my, like, you know, stats and my best times and my best this and that, and it's like when it got to like, after I'd won the world title or defended it, it's like the weight making process was just too much. I'm like 109 kilos, dropping down to 90 kilos, and it's like, although I'm fixed, I'm running every day to get the weight off. By the time I put the weight back up, it's not really the same. So when I was going to Poland, I remember like the weight making process wasn't as bad. It was only like 7 kilos or whatever. So I was like, okay, like I felt on the days leading up to, I was like, oh, I feel way better than I usually do on fight week. And then it allows me to focus more on the actual job. So obviously I got the first round stoppage. And then even in my last fight, it's the biggest guy, quote unquote, I've been in the ring with, you know, whatever he was, 200 and something pounds, 18-1. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I feel strong, like, I feel explosive, and I feel like as soon as I catch one of these guys, they're gone. And then it allowed me to lock in and then get the stoppage. And same way I feel now, it's like on the day, all I'm locked in on is actual performance and actual like sequences and stuff, as opposed to like what salad am I going to eat the day before, or what. It's more so what kind of shots am I going to throw, what positions do I expect to be in, what positions don't I want to be in, and then I can kind of focus on the shots I believe that are going to get the KO.
What's Joe Gallagher brought to you?
Intensity, I think. Focus and like application, because like I know how to throw a jab, and how to throw a right hand, and how to move back, and how to move left, and how to do all of the basic boxing stuff. But it's like, okay, do this and do it well and do it every time, and just we need you to be like this every time. So say for example, I'm doing it 60% of the time, he's not going to be okay. But if I'm doing it 90%, he's not. He's not okay. He wants it to be 100% of the time. So I'm always striving for something, and it gives me stuff to kind of work on every session. And yeah, solid.
It feels like no fighter is ever going to come here to this gym and be bigger than the gym.
Well, no.
You're always going to be kind of put in your place, like cracks a whip.
100%. Like, yeah, I mean, I come in today and then I got reminded, nobody block the jab, fucking do whatever. And it's good, and I think that's how boxing should be. It's like, why should you be bigger than the gym or bigger than training? We all have to do our road work, we have to hit the bags, we all have to spar, we have to sleep on the right time. And I think boxing's a game of like, what have you done for me lately? Like the boxing universe, or whatever you want to call it, it's like, I could say all day long, I was 2-weight world champion, I've done this, I've boxed in front. But then come July the 19th, I have to do it again. So it's like, nothing matters except for, what you do next.
Well, Joe's going for his own fight at the moment as well.
Yeah.
How inspiring is that for you when he's there, giving it all that energy, getting in the ring, showing you got to do this?
Yeah.
So I saw so much energy from him today. Yeah. I'm like, what was he doing on Saturday?
Yeah.
He can't have been in a good way.
Yeah.
How inspiring is that for you?
That's extremely inspiring, and it's like it shows like boxing's bigger than just like two guys going and having a punch. It gives people like warrior spirit. And it just shows his character in general. Do you know what I mean? Like I said from before, him, especially like I had big fights and big high pressure moments, kind of shielding us from what he was going through in order to kind of make sure that we're just focused on the fights until he had to kind of let us know, show these characters. Like I felt, when I didn't have any clue, because he didn't come in sad, he didn't come in, like some people might, I'm going through this, and kind of project on you or whatever else. Now he just, held it down for everyone in the gym. And as I said, like I said to him, I'm going to win a heavyweight world title with him, and I stand by that.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a heavyweight before, let alone.
He's got one now. And as I said, I believe by the end of this year or early next year, like for anyone that says I won't, they're going to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go check the history books, because you tend to do it.
Yeah. They're going to see something for sure.
All right, where do you fit into this heavyweight mix then? Because there's like the division is lively, to certainly say that. You've got that belt at the moment. You're in a great position, but where do you see yourself right now?
I see myself 1 or 2 fights away from a heavyweight world title. I think Kevin Lerena being a bridgeweight world champion with the WBC is a solid step. And it's like, okay, cool, he's going to come with intent, he's going to come with training, purpose. He's going to have his whole reasons to want to win. So when I get that win, it's going to boost me in the right direction. And I think after that, I'm number 1, and then there's Caballero, who's interim world champion. We don't know what's going to happen in July with Dan Dubois and Usyk, but I do think it'll be me and Caballero straight after. God willing, I'm successful on this one, and then that's either a world title or I'll get the world title the one after that.
Do you want to see Dillian Whyte at some point?
Not anymore.
I need to see that fight, Lawrence.
It really depends on how the fight with him and Moses goes. like for me, it's literally just a boxing thing. Like it's just, you know, obviously if you check, like me and him haven't seen eye to eye for a number of years, and I felt like the best way to handle that is in the boxing ring. He's on a different route, which I can't necessarily blame him. Do you know what I mean? If Saudi comes knocking and says, box, you know, headline here, yeah, you go ahead and answer that call. But I just think there won't be much to gain after this fight with Moses, I believe. So we'll see. But it'll be like I just don't think we're gonna cross paths, because I expect to win my next few fights and I expect him to lose his next one. So I don't know where we cross like paths, but you never know.
I mean, the way you sort of phrase that suggests that you expect Moses to really do a number on him.
I do. I just think stylistically, Moses is very sharp. He's explosive, especially early, and I think that Dylan isn't necessarily, his whole career, he's sort of made a career on being tough and rugged and blocking and coming back with left hooks and, you know, being a sort of dog. And I just think that a dog is not the right kind of style to go in against someone who's sharper than you, punches hard, and is good with angles, because I just don't think Dylan's got the boxing IQ to kind of avoid some of the shots that are going to come his way. I could be wrong. It's heavyweight boxing, anything can happen, but I just can't see it personally.
Why doesn't he like you?
Don't know. I mean, I don't like him. He don't like me. I just think it's just like sometimes you don't see eye to eye with people or groups of people. I think that whole side since the Chamberlain days and AJ versus Dylan, and it's always been them versus us. And you know, I've kind of been from cruiserweight days. Like I remember saying I'll beat Dylan and whatever
I remember
else.
you putting the video out.
Yeah, putting the video. Like it is what it is. Like, and also for me as well. Like especially those times, AJ was my manager. You know, he'd helped me a lot through that stage of my boxing career. And it's just like, if you've got a problem with someone that I'm cool with, I've got a problem with. That's just how it is. Especially, you know, obviously, as I said, where I grew up, that's kind of the energy that we come with. So from then, it's not like, okay, you and AJ might not have a problem anymore. Like, I already put my line in the sand.
Yeah.
You put your line in the sand with the Chamberlains, the Riapors, the Dylans, and whoever else. Like, it is what it is, isn't it?
You might have to see Moses one day, though.
Yes, I might have to. Do you know what I mean? I remember when I was sparring him when he was younger, thinking to myself, okay, he's 15, 16, I'm 27, doing the maths. Like, if I retire at 36, like, he'd be 22. Like, there's no way he's gonna, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, this guy comes through and just starts tearing through. And then, do you know what? It's more so the Dylan fight, kind of like, oh shit. Like, because when he beats Dylan, in my opinion, it's like, he's now at the door with anyone else. Do you know what I mean? He's number one with the WBO. I'm number one with the WBC. It's like, I expect to still be around for another few years. So it's like I expect him to get to the top. So you just never know.
Kevin Lerena then, how's this fight going to go?
It's going to go well, I think. I think it's going to go well. I think it's going to be a good fight. I expect to be just too dominant and just a bit, when I visualise the fight anyway, you know, we don't know what's happening until we get it on the day. I just think I'm going to be a bit too sharp, a bit too clever with my movement pattern and punch a bit too hard. And I think that, you know, the sort of experiences that I've had are gonna shine through.
5 weeks notice, southpaw, strong. He brings a lot to the table.
He does, but like southpaw is not really something that bothers me. If I'm honest, like southpaws, I'm quite comfortable with southpaws. I had a lot of experience in the amateurs with it, and even as a pro, I won my world title against a southpaw by a KO. I've stopped every southpaw that I've boxed. As a pro, like it just is what it is. But I think
it's a very good counter argument. That, by the way, I've knocked out every southpaw.
Yeah, no, but no, because the thing is, he's solid. He's a solid guy. He's a world champion currently. It's not going to be like I'm just going to walk in there and hit him. He's going to fall down. He's going to be training his arse off right now, and he's going to come primed and prepared. But I just think I'm a couple levels above him in terms of like decision making, in terms of like I'm gonna grit it out. If I have to grit it out, I'm just gonna work. And the fact is, like, I want to win, beyond bad. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I just think, yeah, a lot of stuff's in my favour. We're gonna go out and see. I just think, especially, I know it's a short camp, but I'm already in great shape, and there's only more to come in terms of like fine tuning. And I think I'm in a great place right now, and I'll be even better in a few weeks.
Just a final one on that. I've heard you talk about when you are fighting someone, you will almost engross yourself in everything about them. You'll watch their interviews and stuff like that. Have you been doing that with Kevin Lerena?
Yeah, I watch everything that Kevin kind of says and does, and like some I take as he's being serious, some I take he's not being serious. But it's like there's a point where I do cut that off. But it's like you have to like. I like watching to kind of see patterns over, like this is what this person does when someone throws this punch at them, because you usually kind of react the same way to the same stimulant. So it's like I kind of like, so for example, I believe I can see how the fight's going to go based on the decisions I'm going to make first. So I'm going to make certain decisions knowing that he's going to react certain ways, and then I'm going to be able to, you know, make him pay for those certain decisions. But yeah, I've been watching.
Watching interviews though, the only
interviews. It's like yes and no, because sometimes people give stuff away, like, and sometimes you have to be careful because I sometimes lie in interviews to throw people off. Do you know what I mean?
Bit of bait here and
there.
Yeah,
like here and there. Oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, but I really am going to do it. And it's more so like, I don't know. I just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I just enjoy it because like I've watched interviews with pretty much everyone that I've boxed, and then I like to see the interviews afterwards or like whatever and see the difference and like be interesting.
Pleasure speaking to you today, Lawrence.
Thank you so much.
What was that?
It was,
what was that? What was that handshake? What is that? Is that a
handshake?
handshake?
Turkey a la shake handshake.
Let's fist bump it. By the way, Daniel Dubois, have you ever fist bumped him?
No, funnily enough.
Doesn't know how to fist bump. Just almost breaks my hand every time.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Is he going to beat Usyk?
Is he going to beat Usyk? I think so. I think so. I think so. I think he is. I just think he is. I don't know, but I thought that about absolutely everyone that's boxing Usyk. But I just think if there's a time, it's now, surely. So yeah, I think he'll get it done.
Pleasure speaking to you. Thanks,
Pleasure
Lawrence.
to you too. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.